Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking into something often invisible, but definitely a growing threat: transnational repression. You might hear it called TNR.
Right. It's basically when foreign governments try to silence their critics, people living abroad. It raises huge issues, human rights, sovereignty of the host country.
Exactly. We've seen this debated in Canada, the US, and now it's really hitting the headlines in the UK too.
Yeah, and today we're focusing on a pretty striking British parliamentary report. It's specifically named India among about a dozen countries alleging actions against the Sikh community there.
So it really brings together these big themes: sovereignty, human rights, global politics.
Definitely.
Our goal today is to unpack all of this for you. We want to lay out the different viewpoints and sort of what it all means for people caught in the middle and for democratic countries.
Okay, let's dive in.
Right, let's start with an official UK warning. It comes from the Joint Committee on Human Rights, the JCHR. Their report is called Transnational Repression in the UK. And the big headline, they're warning that foreign states are acting with impunity. Really a strong word.
Impunity, yeah. And they list 12 countries. It's not just India. China, Iran, Russia are on there too. And there's this quite alarming statistic they flagged. MI5's investigations into state threats, they've jumped almost 50%, 48% just since 2022.
Wow, that's a significant jump. And looking specifically at India, the report details allegations that mostly came from a group called Sikhs for Justice, or SFJ. These include things like threats, harassment of family back in India, even canceling those Overseas Citizen of India cards, the OCI cards.
Impacting their ability to travel.
Exactly. And really seriously, alleged assassinations. The report also didn't hold back on criticizing the UK police response, saying it was largely unresponsive until Hardeep Singh Nijjar was killed in Canada last year.
Which Amnesty UK called a wake-up call. It really highlights the severity.
It does. It paints a pretty stark picture.
It does, but, we absolutely have to bring in India's reaction here. They firmly rejected the whole report, called the allegations baseless.
Baseless, okay.
And they said the information came from unreliable and questionable sources driven by anti-India animosity.
So just to be clear, India's official stance is that groups like SFJ, which advocate for Khalistan, an independent Sikh state, are threats to India's own sovereignty.
Precisely. That's the frame. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of many in the Sikh diaspora, well, for them, TNR isn't some abstract concept. They describe it as a lived reality, something that creates a real chilling effect on, speaking freely.
A chilling effect, meaning people are afraid to speak out.
Exactly. They connect it to what they see as long-standing efforts by the Indian government to suppress dissent globally.
Yeah.
They feel it's rooted in historical anti-Sikh violence, and that India essentially tries to criminalize any talk of Sikh self-determination.
And the tactics they allege, we're talking about concrete things.
Oh, yeah. Threatening phone calls, families back home being harassed, having passports or OCI cards messed with.
Mobility controls.
Right, and sometimes even physical assaults.
Yeah.
And there are these high-profile cases that keep coming up in the sources. Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canada, obviously, then Gurpatwant Singh Pannan in the U.S., Avtar Singh Kanda in the U.K., and Jagtar Singh Johal, who has ties to both the U.K. and India.
These specific cases seem to really galvanize the community's concerns.
They do. They become focal points.
There's also that quote from Prime Minister Modi: "Today, even India's enemies know this new India strikes at home." The Sikh community often points to that quote as reflecting what they see as India's, more aggressive stance abroad.
Yeah, that quote gets interpreted in that context. And if you zoom out a bit, this UK report, it doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? It lines up quite directly with what's happening elsewhere.
Like in Canada.
Exactly. The investigation into Nijjar's killing there led to that huge diplomatic row with India, and eventually charges against Indian citizens.
And the U.S. case, too.
Yes. The U.S. Justice Department indicted an Indian national over an alleged plot to kill Pannan on U.S. soil. So you see this pattern emerging across different Western countries.
Which suggests maybe intelligence sharing, coordinated responses.
It certainly points that way, a growing awareness and coordination among these nations.
Okay, so we have the UK report, India's strong rejection, the Sikh community's fears, and this wider global context. What does it all add up to? What are the big takeaways here?
Well, the bottom line is that transnational repression, TNR, is a serious and growing threat. It hits fundamental rights, democratic values, globally. The UK report itself said there are serious shortcomings in how countries are dealing with it.
Right. Did it suggest solutions?
It did. It recommended getting a formal definition of TNR, collecting better data, improving support for victims, and crucially, more international cooperation, getting TNR higher up the agenda at places like the UN.
And for the Sikh community, their message seems clear. They need security, they need to be able to express themselves freely without fear. It feels like combating TNR is a major challenge for all democracies, really. Needs awareness, yes, but also cooperation and real action.
It really does. And maybe this leaves you, our listener, with a question to think about. How do democratic nations strike that difficult balance, between their own national security interests and their duty to protect people on their soil from alleged foreign state actions, especially when these really sensitive diaspora politics are involved?
A complex question indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us today.